Hello. So let's cover Colton's date. I want to pose this question to you. Is Colton more ready for marriage than Garrett? Let's discuss it, and you can answer that question for yourself by the time we end this review. So Becca's in Colorado to meet with Colton. She says that, since he's worked through this relationship with Tia, she's really ready to move forward with him. They hang out in a children's hospital. Becca and Colton bring gifts to the children, and then from there they go to meet his family. So Becca is, saying that she can see that Colton's very fatherly, like in how he is around the children, and Colton believes Becca shows motherly qualities. So when they go to meet his family, the mom, she said she hasn't seen, Colton this perky like ever. And, the dad is speaking and talking like, regarding he had that one date with Tia. And then Colton saying earlier, if you all remember, that there was an actual relationship. So I don't know how many dates they actually been on. I'm hearing like different things from Colton's mouth, from his dad's mouth, and also Tia's mouth. So it's just kind of all a bit incongruent. But anywho, so then we see that Becca and the dad are talking, and the dad is like, just had mentioned that to Becca, and he's like, it was that one date and that's it. And then he goes on and says, if she feels like he's ready and that sort of thing. And then he goes on and says something like, if you're not really that into him, then I think you should just go ahead and dump him. Don't wait until, after, just dump him now. I guess as a way to protect his heart if she doesn't love him like Colton loves her. Colton also mentioned to his mom that he actually loves her, and that's how he feels. He also feels like he is ready for marriage. So I thought that was nice to hear. Obviously, it would be good for Becca to hear. When the mom spoke with Becca, Becca did mention that she knows that Colton's a virgin, and the mom's like, yeah, that's not really something we talk about. It's not like a mom and son conversation, but she did share with Becca that he is falling in love with her. And at the end of their date, Colton did indeed tell Becca that he was that he was in love with her, actually, that he loved her. So I thought that was, he said, he didn't say like, I'm falling in love. He actually said like, I'm in love with you. And I thought that was very telling of how he felt. But what really went down, what I want to talk about next, is this whole Tia Colton thing. I think this is crazy how now, after all of this time, so Becca goes and spends, after that was the last one-on-one date, it went well. Becca goes hanging out with some girls that she was with in her previous season. So these ladies and her are hanging out. So she tells these girls, hey, this is how the date went with this guy, with that guy. You could just see it on Tia's face. She didn't really look very happy for Becca, to be honest with you. And I can just like sense that from her. Then when she starts talking about Colton, you can see like her face, like she didn't want to hear anything about him telling Becca that he loved her or whatever. So she's like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? And Becca's like, oh, okay. So they go out on the this terrace, and this huge like private outdoor space. I guess they're in a hotel room. And Tia's like, I do care for him, and it's there. And Becca's like, I thought that she put this to bed. This is so frustrating. She's angry. She's hurt. about this. I feel like Tia knew this all along. Obviously, it makes good TV, but Tia knew she had feelings for him all along. This is not something that just came out of nowhere. This was something that was festering. She should have said something immediately when they had that spa date. And like I said before, Becca should have nipped that in the bud then. When she knew that Colton had dated, and he's, in his own words, first revealed it as in a relationship. If he had a relationship with Tia, that should have been gone. Not because of her friendship, but because of her, to protect her own heart. Don't be like, oh, because we're friends. Because if that was really the case, then you would have done that a long time ago, if that was your value system with your friends. And I don't knock that, her wanting to date him, because it wasn't like that was Tia's boyfriend. I think that would have been a different ball game if that was Tia's actual boyfriend. But because they only went out on one date, or however many dates they went out on, it was never a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship, even though Colton did say relationship. So there is some weird fine line there. However, I don't knock Becca for going out with Colton. However, do it for yourself. Just, you know you're in this to find a husband. You're in this, you wanting to be engaged. And with your history, your past, you don't want someone who's not going to be fully in it for you. So why even put yourself through that and keep him around? Like, to me, that was a bad choice. She started making bad choices when she kept Connor on. When she got rid of Chase from the first from the jump, and didn't even give him a chance because of what Chris R said, whom she later admitted to, that was someone she doesn't want to be friends with. She doesn't want to have as the father of her children. She obviously doesn't want to marry him. She doesn't want any marriage and children by this man or with this man. So, but then prior to that, you took his word and you chose Chase, to let go of Chase, and you chose to keep Chris R around. Then Chris R turned on you. She started losing credibility when she kept Connor around after getting rid of Chase. Chase didn't do anything physical against any of the guys in the house or anything like that. This was all based on a rumor, but yet and still you get rid of him. Then you keep Connor around after Connor destroys personal property from someone else in the house. So now you are confused. Then you decide to keep Colton around after Colton said he was in a relationship with Tia. But yet and still you want to end up with someone who is going to put a ring on your finger and be there for you without any interruptions, any distractions, who is totally there for you. Becca's choices have not been consistent. And I brought this up in an earlier video, that why is she keeping some of these guys around and getting rid of others at the suspicion of something? So after that, her getting rid of Chase, keeping Connor around, I already saw she was making choices that how can we say, it's like a double standard / she was starting to lose credibility with the viewers, because it's like, what are you basing these decisions on? Now her decision to keep Colton around, despite him dating someone that you knew, and you claiming to not want any gray areas, but keeping him around, which I felt was a gray area. Now you're saying you're getting rid of him because your feelings aren't up there. I think the reason why she didn't give him a rose, guys. She didn't give him a rose. The reason why she didn't give him a rose was to save face. To save face. And as I suspected, something drastic happened for Colton to get sent home. That was my prediction. Either Jason was going to have to say something meaningful, which he did. He said, I love you. And or something drastic was going to have to happen in order for Colton to get sent home. And you know what? It did. So both of my predictions came true, and something drastic did happen, and something meaningful was said. And I'll show you that was my prediction at the end of this video. But regarding the other roses, the first rose went to Blake. The second rose went to Jason. And the third rose went to Garrett, I guess saving the best for last. Because again, even though I do have my misgivings about Garrett since seeing his hometown date, and you can catch the other video on this channel about that, the red flags there, I do still feel like they are a great match. But again, I still stand by those red flags that I saw on their hometown dates. So, you know, they're a good match. They have that chemistry. I saw him with her from day one, but I also think Blake could have been a really great option. So I don't know, guys. In the end, Becca says she had feelings for Colton, but it was not as much as it was with him, you know, on his side, and she wanted it to be there, but it wasn't. And she also remembered what the dad said about if he's not the one, don't keep him around. And, you know, I really felt for Becca in this episode. You know, I felt like at the end of the day, it seems like Becca is now starting to make choices for herself. However, you got to check out my Garrett video. I saw some things in that scenario that I'm a little concerned about. But in the end, I, of course, still hope Becca chooses the right person. I think she could have nipped this Colton situation in the bud right when he told her that he dated Tia. She should have just got rid of him, just as she should have gotten rid of Connor after he damaged someone's personal property. She should have used that same instinct that she did with Chase, which I think she went a little overboard with Chase. And we all know who, you know, was the messenger in that case, the guy who she said she could never see herself with, Chris R. So all in all, I think there was definitely some misses along the way, but let's see what happens next week. Episode 9, and I'll be getting the review out. But I hope you enjoyed my hometowns, and please subscribe and comment and like. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye. And as a postscript, yes, when I said next week, really meaning this evening, episode 9 will come on. So please check back for my review. Until then, bye.